Out of Rat Race Mastermind presents The Out of Rat Race Workbook by Alfredo Urango with Lorena Lynn. I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is a just employer, he gives you what you ask. But once you have set the wages, why you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life, life would have willingly paid. By Jesse B. Rittenhouse. Out of Rat Race Declaration. I declare today that in 10 or 5 years or less, I will get out of the rat race financially from one or multiple sources of passive income generating assets. I will do whatever it takes for this to happen in my life. My faith is so strong that I see it with my eyes, I can touch it with my hands, and I can hear others already congratulating me for this great achievement. I thank everyone in advance who has helped me on my journey out of the rat race. I am doing this because, and the love I have for, the strength of my love will keep me going and giving when I feel that all of my energy has been spent and I have nothing more to give, because I know that giving is the secret to getting out of the rat race. I will not allow myself to be stopped by the tyranny of the how, because I know that the how will come sooner or later if I don't stop searching for a way out. My mental, emotional, and spiritual determination is solidified, and I declare that today I am out of the rat race. Yours truly. My intention. The aim of this workbook, is to help raise the level of consciousness of those who strive to improve their lives. My purpose in this book is to connect you with the most important ideas, questions, and stories that will help you align your infinitely powerful subconscious mind with your conscious one. Doing this will help you get out of the rat race in the fastest way possible. I wish to enlighten you, not only financially, but also emotionally, physically, relationally, vocationally, and mentally. And do this, you will have to understand and implement 3 things. 1, how to align with your subconscious mind. 2, how to let go of your ego. And 3, how to take the necessary risks to change. The ego holds us from living a life of purpose and achievement. It keeps us from unleashing that warrior king or queen that lies deep within us so that we can rally the warriors we need to achieve greatness. The ego stops us from having all that we desire and bars us from changing the world outside, but more importantly, the world within. Because no matter how much we may want to change, no matter how bad we may want to live the life of our dreams, the ego will say, I know, and you do not. I am, and you are not. I can, and you cannot. Even if I do not, am not, or cannot. The ego will also whisper to us, I will never try my hardest if I know I might fail. Do not mistake the ego for the self. For the self says, I do not know, but soon I will know, for I never stop searching. I am not who I need to be yet, but soon I will be, for I have seen it in my dreams. The self also says, I may not know how to now, but soon I will be able, for I am always open and willing to learn. The self knows that the only way to succeed is to fail until it does. Out of rat race. Are you doing what you need to be doing, or are you doing what you know how to do? Are you making life only about you and your needs and not anybody else's? If you want to get out of the rat race, I want you to start thinking about the people you need to serve because you can't do it alone, and no one else can or will do it for you. And even if they say they will, I advise you to run the other way or prepare for a very uncomfortable moment of growth. Because self-serving people give people fishes to eat for a few days, maybe months, and maybe even a year or two, but it never lasts. And the people who truly serve teach people how to fish so they can eat for a lifetime. If there were an ultimate truth about getting out of the rat race, it would be this. Give all that you have to gain the right quality of and honest and synergistic relationships needed to help you make your way out of the rat race. I want you to start asking yourself the following questions. How can I go deeper and learn even more about the vehicle I plan to use to get out of the rat race? Who can I talk to get a better perspective for the breakthrough that I need? Instead of just going out there and doing things haphazardly and being a dabbler, I want you to start taking things more seriously. I want you to be honest with yourself so you can add incredible value to anyone and everyone wanting to work with you, because you know so much about what you're working on, especially about the people who are in need of your services. Know your customers inside out. Learn to love them like your family. Even if you don't know how to add the value now, you only need to be resourceful enough to find out. So keep asking yourself, how can I add more value than anyone else? Don't be afraid to ask others as well. If you start doing this often enough, I can promise you that the incredible opportunities will start showing up unexpectedly in your life as they did for me. You might be asking yourself, how can I make this happen for myself? I don't have the money, time, or knowledge. I have no one to help me with this. It just seems so impossible. At first, I thought that too, and for good reason. I didn't have any of those things either. I didn't have the time, but I made the time. I didn't have the money, so I got involved with businesses, mentors, and other mastermind groups in any way I could and learned how to make it happen for myself. The only thing different about me was that I didn't take no for an answer. I pretended to be what I wasn't until I became just that. The secret was that I managed to figure out my purpose and the one thing that was driving me. So find out what matters most to you in your life and let that be the reason to get you out of the rat race. That love you have inside of you will take you on the craziest journey of your life and out of the rat race. So hold on to it and never lose sight of it. Consider me as your personal out of rat race guide. I'll be helping you find the reasons for your actions by asking you the empowering questions needed to make changes in your life. Remember, it doesn't take a genius or someone with Herculean strength to achieve what they want. All you need is the determination to make it happen. Find that determination in yourself and channel it in everything you do. I started this journey with nothing, maybe just like you are now. I had horrible bad debt and I didn't have a job. I had a non-supportive family. I didn't have a car. I'm short. I had crooked teeth. There are a lot of excuses I could have made for myself to stay poor, but I didn't let any of that stop me. Like I said, I didn't have much, but what I did have was my mind, and it was all that I needed. You too have your mind, and it's all you need, no matter where you're starting from. The moment when everything changed for me was when I learned the source of my problems. The problem was that I was pre-programmed and conditioned to be poor in all areas of my life. Having learned this, something beautiful and empowering happened. I learned the secret to success. Are you ready for it? I hope you are. It's simple. Here it goes. Life mastery is self-mastery. If you learn to manage your emotions and your mind, you can achieve anything. I mean, absolutely anything. And you don't need the help of any one person or people to get you where you want to go. When you've achieved self-mastery, you'll always find a way no matter what it takes. You'll learn to take back control and soar to heights you've never thought imaginable. You'll learn that you can change people's lives. You'll stop living for yourself because you are going to see a greater vision for yourself and others around you, even if they don't see it for themselves yet. You will love and be loved. The first step to self-mastery is delayed gratification. Most people like things done immediately, and so do I. I was born in America, for crying out loud, where everything is about being instant. But self-mastery is not instant, not by any means. It takes dedication, and it begins with a single mental seed that will grow into a gargantuan tree if you cultivate it and guard it against the pests, bugs, and weeds that come to devour it. I can assure you that they will come to devour it. Sometimes there will be hard times, but those hard times will make you stronger than you ever knew you could be. Those hard times will give you the opportunities you need to get you to the next level and achieve the level of greatness you desire. And as I always mention, having a good group of people that can support you and keep you accountable is essential. Find a mastermind you can join today and start moving faster than you ever did before. Out of Rat Race Workbook. That was a long way of saying the effectiveness of this book is 100% determined by you. If you want to get the full power of this workbook to supercharge your life, you must apply yourself in every portion of this workbook. Just answer each of these questions, one right after the other. This workbook can change the trajectory of your life and give you the breakthrough you've always needed to achieve anything you want in life. Give it all you have, and I have just one question for you. Are you ready? I hope so. This workbook is meant to enhance your life like never before by connecting you with your true self, your best self. If you are having trouble answering one of the questions, just skip it and come back to it. The key is to keep the flow going as best you can. You aren't being graded, so forget about answering anything incorrectly. Just keep going. Let the answers flow and dig deep down for the answers. Don't let anything stop you. Remember, don't get caught up with the multiple answers that pop up in your head. Just go with the answer that rings the truest and bring that answer closer than all the rest and write it down. You also want to be focused and to feel as good as you can when answering these questions. To help you with this, I am going to show you how to get into the right state. Gratitude. The only prayer that ever mattered is thank you. Gratitude makes a life worth living, carrying away fear 1,000 times over. Just know there is always something to be grateful for. When I learned to appreciate life with all its people, situations, and things, I felt a sense of complete ease. I felt a vibration inside, elevating me to a place of completeness. I now share this opportunity with everyone I come in contact with, especially my mastermind group, in order to help them be more present and joyous in their life, no matter what they are going through. I want you to enjoy this moment, no matter what you are going through. It's time to relax, let go, and feel gratitude. Gratitude is meaningful. What's the one thing you're excited about or grateful for in your life? If you can't think of anything right now, think of something that has happened in the past that you were excited about or grateful for. What about that experience, person, or thing that excites you or excited you or makes you feel grateful? How does it make you feel? Answer the best you can. If you need more space, just use the back of a sheet of paper. Take all the time you need. Spend a few more minutes now and reconnect with that feeling. Gratitude is meaningful. Part 2. I want you to relax and breathe. Slow your heart rate and just breathe in that feeling of goodness. Now spend a few moments trying to find that feeling in your body. Where is it? Where can you sense that good feeling? If that feeling had a color, what color would it be? If it had a texture, what texture would it be? Now I want you to take hold of that feeling and focus on it. Don't lose concentration. Now I want you to pull that feeling out of you. Don't dismiss this as crazy. Just give it a chance. Be open and curious. There are two ways to take that feeling out of you. By using your hands and feeling the energy in your hands, or by using your mind telekinetically and allowing it out. Be careful not to drop it. Just kidding. Once you've taken that good feeling out, I want you to expand it all around your body. I want you to keep that really good feeling as you answer all of the questions. It makes a really big difference if you do this. Trust me. Fear. Don't let your fear of what could happen ever stop you. Your biggest fears carry the most growth. Everything you ever want is just beyond your fears. The only power fear has is the attention that it is given. Fear played a big role in my life until I learned how to take control of it. I feared pain, public speaking, socializing, spiders, heights, failing, and even being successful. You name it, I feared it. The switch was so simple. When I started doing things not for myself, but for the right reasons and the right meaning behind it, I could do anything. I knew the outcome, and I just did it. I felt a strong sense of gratitude and love, and just let the fear go. Fear will catapult you. What are the top 5 things that you're worried about or are afraid might happen if you pursue your dreams? What are you really afraid of? Spend a few moments writing down your answers. Fear will catapult you, part 2. What are the top 5 things that you're going to miss out on if you don't pursue your dreams? What's going to run through your mind right before you die if you don't follow your dreams? Spend a few minutes writing down your answer. What it takes. We were placed here to not just survive, but also to thrive. There are no shortcuts to success. You must think whatever it takes, you will do. When I started doing the things that I was unwilling to do, I began to see a shift in my life. I started figuring out why things weren't going quite the way I wanted them to. Questions like, why wasn't I making the money I wanted to make, or why wasn't I having the level of passion I wanted out of life, became very apparent. Doing whatever it takes. What are you willing not to do to get what you want? Most people think about what they're willing to do, but few people think about what they're unwilling to do. The people who are successful do the things unsuccessful people aren't willing to do. What are the top 3 things you are willing not to do to get what you want? For example, I am unwilling to move out of my comfort zone. Spend a few minutes writing down your answers. Struggle. Struggle today for the strength to succeed tomorrow. Without great struggle, we would not know heaven. The struggle of your past is not your present reality. Getting out of the rat race isn't easy. It might be simple, but it isn't easy. It might be even the hardest thing you ever had to do because it requires a level of commitment most people aren't willing to give. It means taking risks and relinquishing your ego to have others help you. It means spending less time doing things that you would rather be doing. But that's what's going to set you apart. My greatest struggle came in the form of dishonest partnerships. But it led me to start my own businesses, which became much more lucrative. It also led me to an even greater partnership that I grew out of it. The struggle is the solution. Ask yourself, what am I currently struggling with? What am I struggling with deep down? What's great about my struggle? What will I get out of this even if everything goes wrong? What can I create for this problem? What can I learn from this problem? Who will I become at the end of this? Spend a few minutes writing down your answers. Homeostasis. Don't ever wait to be grateful and happy in your life. Life is too short to be unhappy. Life is what you make it. The life of your dreams is only a decision away. In life, what we all want is to be happy. And for most people, that means being comfortable. If you want to get out of the rat race, you have to learn to love change and start being uncomfortable until you have reached that new level. You must learn to overcome homeostasis, and you must do it fast, because when you're not growing, you're dying. You must learn how to raise your thermostat level in all the areas of your life. Let me tell you how I raised the thermostat level in the physical health area of my life. For a very long time, I was overweight as a child, but one day I decided that I would lose all the weight so that people would stop making fun of me. That's all it really took. We each have a comfortable homeostasis point that we keep unconsciously, so it takes a determined conscious decision to find the leverage to change it. Find the reason or motivation you have to do this. When it comes to money, my financial thermostat was really low, practically zero. I mean, really low. I was comfortable getting a paycheck and then spending it. Thus, for a very long time, I was functioning on a zero balance. But after that, I understood the concept. My account just grew bigger and bigger. I then learned to invest, and the rest was history. The key is to find out what matters more to you than the pain of losing weight or risking your money in investing. What matters to you more? Keeping your ego fed or not listening to negative and ignorant people in your life? Even if you've known them for your whole life and it hurts their feelings, you just can't listen to them. There are 7 areas of your life that you should focus on. 1, financial. 2, relational. 3, mental. 4, spiritual. 5, physical. 6, emotional. And 7, vocational. These 7 areas have the biggest influence on your well-being. You must learn to get out of the rat race in all of these areas. Life's Thermostat, Part 1. What's your thermostat level for all the areas of your life from a scale of 0 to 10? 0 being the worst of the worst, and 10 being where you want to be. Take a moment to write down what they are for you, where you want them to be, and why. What's going to drive you to change? Financial. Current rate, desired rate, why? Where would you like to be financially a few years from now? How much more would you like to have in your life? How much would you like to have given to charity or your family? How much money would you like to have in your investments? Relationships. Current rate, desired rate, why? How much more time would you like to spend with your spouse, kids, or family? Do you want to attract better quality relationships? Do you want to find new business partners? Emotions. Current rate, desired rate, why? How happy do you want to feel a few weeks from now, a few months from now, and a few years from now? How well do you want to be able to deal with stress? How happy do you want others to be when they are around you? Physical. Current rate, desired rate, why? In a few months or a few years, where would you like to be physically? How much weight would you like to have lost or gained? How much energy would you like to have every day? How much less pain would you like to be in every day? Mindset. Current rate, desired rate, why? How much more intelligent would you like to have become? How many books do you want to have read 1 year from now? How many new mentors would you like to have gained? How quick do you want to be able to make decisions? Career. Current rate, desired rate, why? How far along would you like to be in your career? How many raises or promotions would you like to have? How would you like people in your career to treat you? How much of a difference would you like to have made? Connection. Current rate, desired rate, why? What level of depth would you like to feel connected with others? How aligned would you like to be with your plan or purpose? How grounded would you like to be with all things in nature? How much more certain would you like to be about who you are and where you really came from? Life's Thermostat Part 2. Now that you know where you are, I want you to write down how you think this area will look for you in the future. The first step is to write down what you think you'll see in the future when you have accomplished your goals. So what are some of the things you will be seeing? Maybe you will be seeing money coming into your life. Maybe you will be seeing or kissing your wife passionately. Don't forget to make it emotionally charged and detailed as possible. If you need more space, write on the back of your page. Financially, I will see. Emotionally, I will see. Relationally, I will see. Physically, I will see. Mindset-wise, I will see. Career-wise, I will see. And connection-wise, I will see. Life's Thermostat Part 3. Now that you've written down how all of those will look like for you in the future, I want you to write down what you will feel when you are there in the future. I want you to think of the best feelings you ever had and let that feeling guide you in your writing process. We were all put on this earth to feel good. Don't be ashamed to feel the best and have the best things for yourself. You will inspire everyone around you. Financially, I will feel. Emotionally, I will feel. Relationally, I will feel. Physically, I will feel. Mindset-wise, I will feel. Career-wise, I will feel. Connection-wise, I will feel. Life's Thermostat Part 4. Now I want you to write down what you will hear in the future that will let you know that you have been successful. What are some of the things that other people will say about you? It doesn't matter if you know or don't know them. What are you saying about yourself now that you've accomplished your goals? I want you to be there at that moment. Go. Financially, I will hear. Emotionally, I will hear. Relationally, I will hear. Physically, I will hear. Mindset-wise, I will hear. Career-wise, I will hear. Connection-wise, I will hear. Life's Thermostat Part 5. I want you to do the same process that you did for the last 2 senses, but this time, I want you to focus on this question. What are some of the things you will be touching and smelling? I want you to be as vivid as possible. Go. Financially, I will touch. I will smell. Emotionally, I will touch. I will smell. Relationally, I will touch. I will smell. Physically, I will touch. I will smell. Mindset-wise, I will touch, I will smell. Career-wise, I will touch, I will smell. Connection-wise, I will touch, I will smell. Lastly, I just want you to stop for a second and just imagine yourself again in the future. Does it feel good? Where are you feeling it? Where on your body are you feeling this moment? If the feeling had a texture, what texture would it be? If it had a mood, what mood would it be? If it had a temperature, what temperature would it be? If it had a color, what color would it be? Body location. Where on your body would it be? Texture. What does it feel like? Mood. Temperature. Color. Success. Success never happens overnight, even though it might seem it. You don't become successful, you are successful. Massive action is the only common trait in successful people. I had mentioned earlier that there is more success than just one thing. There isn't a secret to success. But like I said before, Earl Nightingale came pretty close when he said, "You become what you think about most of the time." I've come up with 7 things that solidify it for me. 1. Competence. How well do you know your craft? 2. Confidence. How comfortable are you in your success? 3. Relationships. Are your relationship helping you or hindering you? 4. Habits. Are the habits that you have helping you or hurting you? 5. Change. How willing are you to adapt and set your ego aside? 6. Learning. How willing are you to embrace knowledge you think you already know and continue learning? 7. Purpose. Why do you do what you do? Why do you want what you want? The baseline of success. From a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself in these areas? Next, I need you to tell me where do you want to be on a scale of 0 to 10 and why. Competence. Scale. Why. Confidence. Scale. Why. Associations. Scale. Why. Habits. Scale. Why. Changing. Scale. Why. Learning. Scale. Why. Purpose. Scale. Why. The baseline of success, part 2. Now that you know what you need to work on, what are some of the things you can do to improve these areas so you can master the fundamentals? Spend a few minutes writing them down. Clarity. With clarity comes absolute power. Never see things worse than they are. Get clarity on where you're going, and you will. It took me a while before I was clear about what I wanted out of life. When I wasn't sure, I found myself drifting. I was aimless. I would speak in generalities such as, I want more money. Because of this, I ended up with a job at a warehouse, which is not exactly what I wanted. I said I wanted a relationship, and it brought me the most manipulative woman you would ever meet in your life. But when I got clear about what I wanted, it was as if Moses himself parted the Red Sea for me to make it manifest into my life. Clarity is absolute power. What do you want in all these areas of your life? What do you want? Be as clear as possible. What's great about what you want? How will it change your life if you get what you want? Be as detailed as possible. Make it as emotionally charged as possible. Spend a few minutes writing down what you want. Knowing what you want is half the battle. Financially, I want. Relationally, I want. Emotionally, I want. Physically, I want. Mentally, I want. Vocationally, I want. Spiritually, I want. Focus. Your focus determines your reality. What you focus on grows and energy flows. Always focus on what's most important. When you focus on the good always gets better. Whenever I work with people, it becomes apparent very quickly when the focus is the problem. All it takes is a shift in focus for everything to align just right. After that, they get the perspective they need to have a breakthrough. The second part is the level of focus needed to achieve what is desired. Most people can't find it in themselves to focus on something long enough to see results. They have way too many distractions. The way I overcame this was by eliminating these distractions. Was it easy? No, but it was necessary. How did I start focusing on the right things? I stopped focusing on the lack and negativity. In other words, I just made sure not to focus on what unsuccessful people did or said. Successful people spend 95 of their time focusing on the solution and not the problem. They spend 5% of their time lingering on the problem, blaming others and blaming themselves. So start focusing 95% of your time on the solution and not the problem. Think of something that you have been struggling with and have always wanted to change. Perhaps you focus too much on the negative, or maybe you get angry too easily. The way to get a breakthrough is to change your focus. If you want to change your focus, you only need to ask yourself different questions. The trick is to ask a better quality question. For example, why isn't anything working for me? Isn't a quality question. You're not going to like the answer. A better quality question would be, how can I muster the strength, the intelligence, and the confidence to start changing things around for myself? What are 5 new empowering questions that you can ask yourself, and what do you think is the answer? Visualize. Visualize what you want and not what others want for you. If you can visualize it, you can manifest it. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. The top performers in the world become successful by visualizing their results beforehand. They become certain and execute without hesitation. I spend many hours visualizing the life I wanted for myself. I would see thousands of dollars of passive income flowing in, and I would see the money in my bank. I would see myself having great relationships and growing every day. I would become better and better at transforming people's lives and see myself serving enough people to manifest these things into my life. What are some new questions you can ask yourself to get a new focus or direction in your life? After you write down the quality question, immediately brainstorm and write down all the answers that start coming to you. Just breathe and let them flow. Spend a few moments writing down some questions and answers as best you can. Responsibility. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. Take responsibility because you can only change yourself. Your life truly begins when you become responsible for it. It's very difficult to take responsibility for the things that happen to us when it seems apparent that it is not our fault. Reality states that in fact it is our fault every time. We just get good at creating a narrative that allows us to blame other people, things, or events. When we are running our own business, for example, we tend to think employees are the problem because they keep leaving us after we train them. But the thing is, they're not the problem. We are. If we think the problem are the customers because we're afraid that if we raise our prices, they will leave, then we will be stuck there for the rest of our life, underpaid and unprofitable. If we think the problem is our family because we think they keep holding us back and we can't get ahead, then we will be stuck there for the rest of our life. If we think our spouse is the problem and we can't seem to find a solution for this because he or she isn't changing, then we will be stuck there for the rest of our life. It's our job to change ourselves, not others. What are some of the bottlenecks or chokeholds to your business or life success? Spend a few moments writing them down. Let me give you a hint. It's you. So what are you doing that is keeping you from success that you desire? What do you need to be doing differently? If you still think it's other people, then that's the problem. And the problem won't ever go away. What steps do you need to take to change? Spend a few moments writing them down and writing down any possible solutions. Limits. The only limits you have are the limits of your belief. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Believe in yourself, and others will too. I never thought in a million years that I could get to the level that I am today. I managed to accomplish what I thought I would accomplish a decade earlier. I am certain that you can achieve what you want much faster than you think if you just start allowing yourself to see new possibilities for yourself, just like I did once upon a time. See what you believe, not what you see. What is something that you are certain that you will achieve, but still haven't manifested it? Write it down 7 times and say it until you believe it. Your subconscious mind will get you there. Try this, for example. I am financially free. Proximity. Spend your life working to be in proximity of greatness. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Like always attracts like. Only surround yourself with people who make you better. The company that you keep will determine who you are. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. When I started spending time with different people, I began seeing a change like I never thought possible. The people in my life elevated me so much so that after a few months, I was a completely different person. I was focused on what I wanted because everyone else around me wanted that for me too. Proximity is power. Who are the people in your life that you spend the most time with, and who do you need to start weeding out? Who do you need to start spending more time with? And if you don't know, name qualities. Spend a couple of minutes writing down your answers. So that's, I spend the most time. I need to start weeding out. I need to spend more time with. Books. What consumes your mind controls your life. A single book can change your life by changing your perspective. Feed your mind a book a day. The wealthiest people in the world read a lot. Books played a very important role in my personal development. I never liked reading books, but I could never sit still long enough to actually read a book. But I knew that if I wanted to reach the level of success I wanted, I would have to start reading. So I came up with a workaround that saved me time. Instead of sitting and reading a book, I just started listening to audiobooks, and now I listen to a book a day. I would sometimes meet people on my journey who were unsuccessful, and they would say you can't learn much from books, and you could probably guess why they weren't successful. Core foundational books: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil, Awaken the Giant Within, Richest Man in Babylon, The Power of Now, The Creature from Jekyll Island, Go for No, Your Erroneous Zones, Secret to the Millionaire Mind, The Motivation Manifesto, Emotional Intelligence, E-Myth, Poke the Box, Who Moved My Cheese, Magic of Believing, Effortless Success, Many Lives, Many Masters, Happier, Letting Go, Pathway to Surrender, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect, Thinking for a Change, The Celestine Prophecy, A Return to Love, The Compound Effect, Pitch Anything, The Greatest Salesman in the World, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, Anti-Fragile, Conscious Capitalism, The 4 Agreements, Just Ask the Universe, As a Man Thinketh, Unstoppable Confidence, The Success Principles, Beyond Positive Thinking, How Come That Idiot's Rich and I'm Not, The Education of Millionaires, The Power of Body Language, The Strangest Secret, The Tipping Point, The Slight Edge, Ask and It Is Given, The Alchemist, The Ultimate Blueprint, Your First 100 Million, The Biology of Belief, The Secret, Good to Great, Great by Choice, Crucial Conversations, and many, many more. How often do you read? How much do you know about these books? Write down the 10 most important principles these books all have in common. If you can't think of any, you should start reading them. Einstein. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. To change the world outside, you must change the world inside. According to Albert Einstein, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. The reason people progress so slowly is because When they encounter a problem, they try to solve it by using the same level of thinking that got them there. If you want to overcome this, you must start trusting others and shedding your ego. The Einstein breakthrough. What are the top 5 things you've been doing over and over again and expecting different results? Spend a few minutes writing them down. The Einstein breakthrough part 2. What are some of the things you could be doing differently? Who can you talk to? What's the one thing you're missing? Maybe it's something in your past that you haven't thought of. Spend a few minutes writing them down. Toleration. Do not tolerate being poor in any area of your life. Never tolerate homeostasis. Be tolerant of others, but not of yourself. Sometimes your breakthrough is right in plain sight. Maybe it's a person you need to let go or a habit you need to break. Now it's the time to do it. In life, we only get what we tolerate. Tolerance is a limit we impose on ourselves so that we can live comfortably in our current uncomfortable existence. When we decide to tolerate something we don't like, we consent in living a life of regret and desperation. I decided a long time ago that I would no longer tolerate being poor in any area of my life. Stop tolerating and start living. What are the top 5 things you could be doing differently? Spend a few moments to write down a few things you have been tolerating and are committed to change. Failure. The most successful people in the world are also the biggest failures. Failures is the greatest part of success. You never fail until you stop trying. Failure is the bridge to success. In school, we've been programmed not to fail. The reality is different. Though everyone at the top failed at some point in their lives, maybe even more than everyone else, but their failures don't seem to exist. Only the great triumphs. Even those who are undefeated, they have failed even more so. It is only in that time span that they were successfully undefeated. So expect to fail. The greatest entrepreneurs are the greatest failures, and that is why they succeed. Fail until you succeed. What have you not been failing at, but also not getting ahead in? Are you in the game, but not up to par because you are afraid of striking out or missing the shot? What can you be failing at more that can lead to future successes? What have you given up on because you felt that you were failing? Is it possible that you stopped 3 feet from gold? What are the top 3 things you need to start failing in more to see even greater success? Spend a few minutes answering these questions. Improvement. Continuous never-ending improvement makes a life worth living. If you're not growing, you're dying. Work on yourself more than you work on anything or anyone. For things to change, you must change. I can tell you with all honesty that at the rate at which most people try to generate passive income or master any part of their life, it will take them 2 or 3 lifetimes to do that. The way one can overcome this dilemma is by increasing the learning curve drastically and turn decades into years. Is it realistic to do so? It is very realistic. I have seen people do it, I have done it, and you can do it too by changing your perspective on improvement. Most people improve themselves gradually and comfortably, which tends to be the slowest way to see progress. What you must do is measure your improvement daily. Constant, never-ending improvement. How often do you measure your progress? Have you been improving daily, weekly, or yearly? Have you seen any improvement, or have you reached a dead end? What are the top 3 things you can be doing to increase your daily performance? Spend a few minutes answering these questions. Death. A courageous warrior dies 1 death, while a coward dies 1,000. The only people who fear death are those with regrets. Live each day as if it were your last. Death only destroys the souls that linger on it. We tend to believe that we have all the time in the world to figure things out. The truth is that we don't know when that time will come to an end. It's been said by many that if you want to find true happiness, live every day as if it were your last. It's also been said that a true warrior only dies once, while a coward dies a million deaths. Be the hero of your own movie. You can be, do, or have anything if you take enough action. View from your deathbed. What do you want to be telling yourself while you're lying on your deathbed? Will you have accomplished what you set yourself to do? Will you be proud of yourself? Will you have taken the necessary risks to change? Will you have loved enough? Will you have given enough? Will you have mattered? Spend a few minutes answering these questions. Leverage. Your network is and always has been your net worth. The rich use leverage, the poor do not. Leverage is the key to exponential growth. Everything I have ever accomplished, I never did alone. I always leveraged a person, a mentor, a business, basically anything and anybody I could leverage. I had very few resources to begin with, so I had to learn the art of leverage to get by. Some people like to do everything themselves and get stuck when they can't think of anything they can offer another person. Do not be that way. You can even leverage what you do not have, like promises. Leveraging a promise can be very powerful. When a bridge burns or breaks, then you find another, one that is stronger. The art of leverage is the greatest skill anyone can develop. Who are the top 5 people you could be leveraging more? What are some of the things that you could be delegating to other people that you are currently doing? What are some of the ways you can free up your time by either letting them go or having someone else do them? Who are some of the people who you haven't been leveraging as much as you should be? Spend a few minutes to write down your answers. Thoughts. Think great, because you can become what you think about most of the time. Think smart, because as you think, so shall you become. Think grand, because you think, therefore you are. Focusing and thinking about their fears and negative thoughts is a common problem among people who want to change their lives. Letting these thoughts consume you will keep you from what you want. You must learn to replace these negative thoughts with positive ones. Do not linger in lower states of thought. Whenever I would start thinking of something negative, I would immediately divert my thoughts and focus on the good that can come from an incident or on things that may come in the future. No matter what may happen, growth will happen. Thoughts become reality. What have you been thinking lately? Have you been thinking about the negative? Are you thinking about how much you don't have? Write down what you have been thinking about, and once you do, write down the opposite. If it's a negative, be as detailed as possible. What I've been thinking about. What I should be thinking about. Consciousness is like an iceberg. The conscious mind takes up 5% of your awareness, while the subconscious or unconscious mind takes up 95% of your consciousness and is made up of your intuition, values, habits, beliefs, thoughts, actions, imagination, and emotions. Steps to Mental Reconditioning Part 1. The subconscious mind is the most powerful tool we have for manifesting our desired reality. It is infinitely more powerful than our conscious mind. The first step to aligning the subconscious mind with the conscious one is to be openly curious about the possibility, as well as be self-aware of its presence and remain humble. Steps to Mental Reconditioning Part 2. The second step is to identify what limiting beliefs or fears that you may be having. Limiting beliefs and fears are typically conditioned at childhood. So in order to recondition them, they must be clearly specified. Steps to Mental Reconditioning Part 3. The third step is to take this limiting belief and switch it to its opposite. For example, if the limiting belief is, I am not good enough, the opposite would be, I am more than enough. Do this for every limiting belief that you have. Steps to Mental Reconditioning Part 4. The fourth step is to make these beliefs as emotionally charged as you can. For example, instead of I am more than enough, you might say, I am not just enough, I am the absolute perfect person for the job. These beliefs must also be positively stated in first person and in present tense. However, the shorter the belief statement, the better, so they can be easily stated. Close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, and read them aloud as many times that it takes for you to begin to believe them. Steps to Mental Reconditioning Part 5. Until I learned to recondition my mind for success, I didn't know what I needed to do. Now it's your turn to recondition your mind. To do this, you need to know how your consciousness works. Your consciousness works on 4 levels. Your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind, your superconscious mind, and your conscious mind. The conscious mind is like the pilot in a very big airplane. It loves complexity and being challenged. It does everything and everyone. It's almost always in the past or future. It's hardly ever in the present. It processes things very slowly. It can only process 1 to 5 things at a time. It has short-term memory, and it thinks in dualities, good or bad, right or wrong, big or small. It carries the mask of the ego, and it lies repeatedly. The conscious mind is about 5% aware on average, while the subconscious mind is about 95% aware. Think of it like flying a plane. The heavy lifting and flying are the plane, but the pilot is the one programming the system. Sometimes the plane might encounter turbulence, and if the person isn't paying attention to the system, they will have to follow their feelings. In the case of flying a plane, sometimes flying straight might feel like flying upside down. The system will tell you one thing, but your feelings might tell you another. If you go with your feelings, you will crash the plane. In other words, you must learn how to align your subconscious mind and be present. Even when you feel lopsided, you must trust in your subconscious mind. For example, if your reaction to a breakup is to lash out because you take it personally, then clearly you were lopsided and going with that what feels right. Becoming vengeful would be the wrong reaction. The aim is to have the right response. The right response would be to understand that this person was never right for you and to take responsibility for having picked a poor mate. You need to realize that now you have a new opportunity to make things right. Remember, it takes just a small amount of energy to live a joyful and gratuitous and loving state than it is to live in an angry, hateful, and fearful one. The subconscious mind is like the programming of a very big airplane. It's habitual and recurring. It runs the autonomic nervous system, like the heart rate and breathing of the body. It thinks in literal terms. It remembers everything. It processes things millions of times faster than the conscious mind. It has long-term memory and it is 95% of our consciousness. The subconscious is the part of our consciousness that is situated below the surface. The subconscious mind constitutes 95% of our awareness. The subconscious is always awake. It is made up of our habits, thoughts, beliefs, learned behaviors, actions, and emotions. The subconscious mind runs our autonomic nervous system. This is a way of saying that it runs our heart rate, breathing, and digestive system, all of our vital functions. It thinks in literal terms, and it is always present. It processes information a million times faster than the conscious mind. It cannot lie to you. You can only lie to it. Your subconscious mind can make you do or have anything with the right programming. It always finds a way, and it never stops. The questions are, what programming does it have, and what programs have you been giving it? The subconscious mind is the space between our awareness. Some people call it the soul consciousness, the higher self, the vortex, the flow, God, the universe, source, higher spirit, universal mind, alignment with the higher power, center of faiths, spirit, Christ, Buddha, consciousness, the gut, inner knowing, sixth sense, nature, zero field, infinite knowledge, the field, walking with God, infinite presence. It sees the big picture of our life. It knows what is in our best and highest self, helps ensure what we choose is safe. It won't do us any harm. It is unbound by time and always expanding. It has unlimited processing capacity. It does not ever need to lie. It is the master in the art of allowance. The superconscious and the unconscious mind are not in our awareness, but are just as important to recognize. The superconscious mind goes by many names: higher self, the flow, God, the universe, infinite presence, I am, the vortex, gut feeling, nature, zero field, source consciousness, sixth sense, and the inner knowing, to name a few. It helps guide us and puts us in a perfect state where time is limitless, and you are without fear and full of love and gratitude. The unconscious mind is that part of our mind that is not readily available because it's not needed, or it may feel useless or blocked off because it is protecting itself. To unlock unconscious awareness sometimes requires some form of intervention. Unconscious manifestation. It begins with our personal interactions. The people we see, the places we go, the events we attend, and the situations that we're in. The brain then perceives these experiences, and the brain rationalizes through judgments and negative self-limiting beliefs. The brain then has a reaction. It is in flight or fight mode. It is stressed out. It is defensive, angry, and paralyzed. It then has physical and neurological disorder. Self-actualized consciousness manifestation. First, we still see things, perceive things, events, and situations. But now we recondition the negative self-limiting beliefs into positive, empowering, supporting beliefs. And the brain perceives these events, situations, and experiences very differently. The brain then rationalizes through non-judgmental, positive, and empowering supportive beliefs. It is healing of the mind and body. It is energized, relaxed, enthusiastic, and innovated. Unconscious manifestation, or self-actualized conscious manifestation. You have a choice to live your life in one of two ways. The first way is to live your life the way most people live it. They gather information from their senses and perceive people, things, or situations, interpreting them in such a way that satisfies the ego. the part of you that likes to suffer and be the victim to feel important. This then creates negative beliefs about yourself and those around you. Your servo mechanism, the part of you that identifies who you are and shapes you, will become in high alert, defensive, and reactive, and will initiate a flight or fight mode. This will increase the levels of stress in your mind and body. Then it will damage every part of your system until it breaks down in the form of disease, cancer, or it will simply shut off, and it is not recommended. The second way, which is highly recommended, is to gather information and start to perceive people, things, and events in a positive light, whatever or wherever they might be. Sometimes we can't see the positive while it's happening, but you will in the future. Then, that level of hope and faith will keep you going even when everyone else quits, breaks down, and gives up. If you find yourself lingering in a lower state, anger, hate, and fear for too long, you will consciously work on aligning your subconscious mind to keep moving forward until you're on the other side again. Remember, we always start on the side of positivity so that we are pulled like a magnet toward it even when we falter. Now, with our congruent, well-formed positive beliefs, we respond to situations with leadership and innovation, which enhances our body and allows us to relax, be creative, and logical during turbulent times, to lower the stress in our bodies, and to repair the system inside of us day after day. That's the kind of life I want to live, and I hope you do too.